Of course, I had been singing for RD Burman before that also. I had started probably singing almost 10, 12 years before that for him, from early 80s. So when I went to RD Burman, of course, I was awestruck because he was in my guru category. He was like Lakshmikant Pyarelal, RD Burman, people I've heard from my childhood and heard them on the radio, and I had to pinch myself to say, okay, I'm singing for RD Burman. It was just too awesome for me. But with AR Rahman, he was much younger to me. He was a new music director. So I didn't have to treat him like a guru or a teacher like that. He was like a young music director, and I was a very talented person I was working for. But with RD, what happened is like, how does he syncopate? And then with RD, I would watch how he sings a song, how he moves his mouth in a song. And then when I sang Love Story 1942, the earlier songs also which I had sung for him, I was trying to see how RD sang the song. And I would try to sing it exactly like that. But with Rahman, what would happen is, Rahman, when I first started out, he would not sing his Hindi words very clearly. You know what I mean? His Hindi words were not very clear, so he would like that kind of thing. Then we put in the words and sing the Hindi words the way I want. But with Panchamda, it would be Dil ne kaha chupke se, because Panchamda sings like that. So I could copy him 70%. I felt if I copied him 70% at least, then my song with Panchamda would be a success. I just had to emulate him. But with Rahman, it was like he would slur and sing his compositions, and his compositions were brilliant. And then once we put the word, and then he would allow us to improvise and on a bare harmony, just keep on singing. But with Panchamda's time, what happened is songs were with the orchestra. If you made a mistake, you had to redo the song. Even Love Story, Dil Ne Kaha Chupke Se, I sang with the orchestra. So if it was a 6-minute song, I sang a 6-minute song. Later, of course, by the time we did this, I was in a position to do some corrections later on. But I had to sing it with the orchestra. So that was a different era. And with Rahman, the era was different, where I could sing half phrase, one line, you know.
Did you find them similar?
Yes.
Both had very unique approach to film music.
Yes. Absolutely. And with Rahman, what happened with Rahman ji is also, he brought in a very, very new style of arrangements. And one has to really commend him on this, because one has to remember that he came at a time when Ilayaraja was absolutely on the top in the southern India. And Ilayaraja had also brought in a very fresh way of looking at songs and a very fresh way of arranging songs. His arrangements were phenomenal. So for Rahman ji to come and make a mark and to have this very, very, shall I say, a modern, Western fusion. At the same time, if it's a classical song, the Indianness of the song. Everything put together in such a fantastic balance. So he is a musical genius, because at that young age, for him to have seen songs like that and checked out the songs with the sound which would be on the top 20 years ahead, you know. Today, the sound we are hearing now in the film industry, he had already done it with Bombay and Roja, you know. He was so much ahead of his time, like Panchamda. Definitely, very rightly said.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon and stay entertained.